How's it going, guys? My name's Oliver. Today we're going to be talking about social media marketing courses. So have I ever bought one, and should you guys buy one if you're just getting starting out? Today's going to be a fun topic because I know many people are kind of on the one side of the thing. Some people message me, they say you absolutely need a course, and others tell me it's a scam and you should stay away from them. So today I'm going to be sharing my perspective, and obviously I don't have a course, so I'm not going to kind of push you to buy my course or something like that. I have nothing to sell you, so this is going to be a completely unbiased opinion. So have I ever bought a course for myself? I did buy Iman's course. So for those who don't know, Iman is a pretty popular guy in this whole space. He has a course that's about $1,000, and he teaches you how to get started with your own marketing agency. So what did I learn from that course? Like, was it actually useful for me? Like, do I regret buying it? Personally, I don't necessarily regret buying it because I do believe it was a good course. Like, it did teach me the basics of marketing, but I feel like all of the information that was presented in the course, I already knew most of it. Like 90% of the content, it was things that I already knew. What helped me with that course was that everything was very organized. So I knew step 1, do this. Step 2, you do this. I had some form of game plan to follow so I could execute all of the actions that were necessary to start my marketing agency. So do I believe you need a course to get started? Personally, I feel like in today's day and age, everyone's making videos on this subject. You've probably consumed enough content to know more or less what you have to do to get going. If I ask you right now, what do you do? What's your first step? What do you have to do? Now, some people might say, well, should I make my website first? Should I have a Facebook page? Should I already prepare my onboarding funnel? I feel like the hard part in actually starting this business is just knowing all of these small details. How do I actually get started? I know more or less what to do, but what's the actual first step? What do I actually do to get going? And many people on YouTube like to overcomplicate this subject when in reality, this business model is very simple. I basically dumb it down to 3 pillars. So the first one is outreach. So what form of outreach will you be doing to get in front of clients? So that can be cold calling, cold emailing, cold DMing. Afterwards, there's the sales part. So how do you actually sell over Zoom? How do you negotiate? How do you overcome objections? Luckily, if you have a good offer, this part is pretty much done on its own. If you have a no-brainer offer, you're not going to need to convince the person to buy your services. And lastly, the last pillar is service delivery. So what service am I going to offer? And you have to learn how to deliver the service yourself. This is the only time where I would recommend you guys to buy a course, is on the actual service delivery. So if you want to run Google Ads, you buy a course on Google Ads and you learn the basics. But you don't need a course to learn how to start the whole business model. I don't think that's necessary. But don't overcomplicate things, okay? It's not that hard to get going. What I believe to be the absolute best option is to work with someone who already knows what they're doing, someone who already has experience. This is the absolute best way for you to get going and just skip the whole bullshit learning curve and just get straight to the point. So do I recommend you guys to buy a course? What, marketing agency course? No. What I would recommend more is to find a mentor, someone who knows what they're doing. And obviously, guys, you will have to pay for a mentor. You can't expect someone who's running a full-on business to just take on a random person who wants to start their own business and they get kind of nothing in return. You guys, you will have to spend money. Can you start everything from scratch? Yeah, of course. But it's going to be a lot harder for you guys to get going. What I would recommend personally, I think this is the absolute best way. The cheapest, most cost value thing you can do. Find someone who knows what they're doing, who has a marketing agency, who clearly they know what they're talking about. And just if they have a one-on-one coaching session or something like that for an hour, 2 hours, I think that's the absolute best thing you could do. Work with that person for an hour, and if they're good, they're going to give you a game plan of what you should be doing to start your own marketing agency. Okay, first step, you do this. If I could get the course without the videos, but just the steps. Step 1, you do this. Step 2, you do this. He doesn't actually explain how to cold call, but he says step 2, this is when you start cold calling. If the course was laid out that way, that would have been 100 times more useful. I did not need the videos. I just needed the structure. So if you work with someone one-on-one, like a mentor, a coach, someone who knows what they're doing, just ask them for that step by step. What do I do? Like, how do I actually get started? And like all these little questions that are going to come up as you're working, like, subjects that aren't really talked about. Should I run the ads in my own Google account or my Facebook account, whatever? Or should I run them in their account? Do they pay for ad spend or do I pay for ad spend? Do they pay at the start of the month or at the end? When do I hire a media buyer? Is it from the get-go or after? Like a bunch of little things that aren't necessarily covered by everyone that are really important to your business. And a mentor will help you to do this. So if you guys are looking for a mentor, I could probably give up some of my time and help you guys. But the amount of messages I get from people like, can you be my mentor? Let's start working together. I don't have any money, but I want to work with you. Teach me everything. It's like, how do you expect people to work with you if you're not even willing to invest a bit of money? In my head, like when I buy something that, let's say this camera. I just bought a new camera. It was hella expensive, but I knew like I was going to make my money back because I trust myself. I know that I will stick with this YouTube thing and eventually I will make money back from it. So if you're not willing to invest like a couple of $100 in this whole business idea, especially to work with a mentor, a one-on-one mentor, then like, of course that person's not going to take you seriously. Yeah. So that's going to be all for today's video. Don't be lazy. You guys know what to do. If you're really looking for a mentor, someone to help you, just send me a message. We'll see what we can do. I'm not saying I'm offering that service, but it's just my goal with this YouTube channel is to help as many people as I can. So in conclusion, do you need the SMMA course? No, you don't. I would buy a course to learn the service delivery. I think that's the only course that would be helpful to you guys. And it's not that expensive. It's like 20, 30 bucks. Okay, that's the only course you need to get going in SMMA. The main part is finding people, mentor who know what they're talking about. It can be just YouTube creators and following them and just following their advice. If they say you have to cold call to get clients, you cold call. You don't say, oh, I'm shy, I don't really feel like doing it. Okay, if this person, like, they have a business, they're successful, they know what they're talking about. Once you reach their level, then maybe you can start playing around with things. But until then, you follow their advice and you start that business that way. Okay? That's going to be all for today's video. I hope this was useful, and see you on the next one.